Appreciate it.
Hey,
I told Mr. Clausen if I don't win the ugly sweater contest, I'm quitting.
in my car, remember?
Sport 3, here of the winter season.
Yeah.
Girls wrestling.
Girls wrestling.
Exciting. The flag bearer of the school, the state champions.
State champions.
Thank you for coming to visit with us today.
Got Coach Bohnet, Madelynn Bohnet,
Yeah.
Ariadne, and Caitlyn. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I think we're super excited to have you in. One, we're going to get to see you wrestle tomorrow here, home meet. Skylar.
Skylar, yep, they're a pretty big team. Back before it was sanctioned, Skylar, they got, I think they got second the 2 years it was unsanctioned.
Okay.
And they've always had a large number of girls out, and they're always a fun team to duel against.
Yeah, it seems like that's one of your assets is large team, right?
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit with injuries right now,
Okay.
and we have some kids on vacation, so we're not quite as big as what we have been or are. But tomorrow will be a little bit smaller, but still a good-sized team.
So all weight classes are, do you have any open weight classes or everything pretty full?
I might have one or two open weight
One or
classes.
two open weight classes. How many weight classes are there?
14.
14. So yeah, you need to have at least 14 able-bodied at individual weights, and so that can be tough to make a team.
Yep.
So, Madelynn, how long have you been wrestling?
I started wrestling when I was in like 2nd grade,
Okay.
and I kind of stopped for a while. I didn't find it super interesting, and then 7th grade is when I really started like taking it seriously.
And you've seen some success. So far you're a sophomore, correct?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore. I made some national teams kind of ever since my 7th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
After I went and tried out to get on the Nebraska national team, and ever since then I've just kind of been sticking with it, and it's been pretty good.
Good. And then what, I think last year, state qualifier. Second place.
Mm-hmm.
So goals for this year are?
Probably better get first place.
Yeah.
Right. Always better, right?
Right,
Always
we're gonna win
better?
it this year.
Is the girl who got first place still wrestling?
No, she
She
graduated.
graduated. All right, well.
I believe she's over at Mornings. No, okay, not even close.
I think they're both in Iowa.
Yeah,
that's
Iowa.
right. That's right.
Didn't one of the wrestlers go to?
We had two wrestlers go to Morningside last year.
Okay.
Seniors, yeah.
Okay,
But the girl
cool.
she lost to last year, she went to Oakland.
Oh, okay, all right. So, yeah, I thought that, because they have their season, their integral team over at Morningside, I believe, is this year, and some of your former wrestlers are part of that, so. But yeah, no, we're super excited about, being able to come out and, see you tomorrow and support you. I think one thing, the Booster Club has done for you is, we got some wrestling dummies for them, I think,
That's
last
right.
year.
Yep.
Have you had a chance to throw any of the, Caitlyn,
Yeah.
any of the wrestling dummies around?
Yeah, when we do,
I'm not talking about your coach either. Wrestling dummy either too. That was a good dad joke, wasn't it?
yeah, we throw around them for like, when we're doing like throws, so we don't want to hurt our partners.
Mm-hmm. I
I
guess,
believe made a big difference, actually, injury-wise.
Yep.
No fear of injury when you're throwing the dummy around, hopefully.
and what's that thing weigh? Like, is it like
I think there's a 55 and there's a 65 pound.
Wow.
And that doesn't sound like a lot.
It's a ton,
It feels really heavy.
I
It's like
bet
all
it
on their
does.
feet, so it's just like
especially when
grabbing.
you're tired and working and.
Dead weight is a lot more.
Yeah.
yeah, you think you're the other person just fighting you, but picking that dummy up can be really, yeah, it's a lot different than another person. So you're a junior.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember going off, you've had some success here too, right? Did some good summer wrestling.
Yeah, I went to, we both went to Florida and Virginia this summer.
Okay, cool. And then, did you state qualifier?
I did not qualify last
But
year.
I think there was a split position
Yeah,
last
me and
year. Yeah, you and
Melissa.
Melissa, and she graduated.
Yep.
So now it's your spot
It's
to
your
have,
year,
and you're
right?
here, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think so you've been to a couple tournaments. I think you've had some success at those, correct?
Yeah.
And what's your record?
It's 17-0 right now.
I call that
Terrible.
success.
So
right?
Terrible.
17 pins.
17
awesome.
pins. Good for you.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's really impressive.
Having a really good season this year.
And
That's
so, junior, have some goals. Obviously,
Yeah.
hopefully make state,
Yes.
and then get there and see what happens, right? Well, good. Well, we wish you.
Best of luck.
Best of luck
Undefeated.
there, and,
Can't
know.
get much better than
Hey, do
that.
they still do that thing? I remember back in my day, you could get those pins and you'd wear them like on
Oh,
your
yeah.
letter coat, and do they still do things like that?
Yeah, we do that. We have some great managers, and last year Caitlyn helped make them, but now they're just pins, and you guys have any of them on you?
I don't have my bag with me.
But you put them on your school
I put
bag.
them on my school, on my.
Nice.
I put mine
Rest
on
of
my
mine.
wrestling bag. This one
Okay.
sleeve is completely.
So it's still a
filled.
thing.
Yeah, we might have one of them running, we'll grab them. And again, I don't know who did it in the past, but this year we have our managers doing it, and they made them, and it's really fun. It's
Absolutely.
once a week we'll have them out at practice, and it's just fun. Ariadne, 4 pins, and then they get their 4 pins, and you see them go over there and put them on there.
So is that a leader in something?
Is
Did
that
you
a
have
legit
four?
thing?
Did you have 4 pins?
I think she did have 4 pins this past week.
Nice.
Mhm.
Freshman?
Yeah.
Freshman? So then, what made you decide to wrestle then? Have you been doing it for a while?
Well, I did it last year, so.
In middle school?
Middle
Yeah.
school.
Okay. You just enjoyed it?
Mhm.
Nice.
How, I guess, to speak on that, how many, was there quite a bit of matches that you wrestled as an 8th grader? Did they have quite a few tournaments and duels?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gave you enough exposure to come out to high school wrestling and not be afraid of it, right?
What's the difference in practices between high school wrestling and middle school wrestling?
It's harder.
Harder.
So,
A little bit more intense?
yeah.
Yes.
The coach a little bit tougher too?
Yeah.
Well, she's lucky. I think we're all lucky, but Coach Howgrew
Okay.
was at the middle school last year, and now he's an assistant on our staff. So a lot of the girls know him already.
Right.
So,
Comfort.
yeah, a little comfort thing, and he's a great coach. He's a great guy. I'm the intense person in our room. Coach Howgrew and Coach Wood are the not as intense people, and it's good to have that parity within the coaching staff.
Right.
Sometimes I can be a little too intense.
When I think having Coach Hargrove there with the middle school weights program, at least being like a kind of an open door, like, hey, at least if I'm brand new to it, at least I saw you at weights every single morning, right? You know?
Absolutely.
And so, Ariadne, so you have 4 pin, how many what's your record so far?
Like 99.
Yeah, I think you're at 10 and 8 right now.
10 and 8.
Yeah.
So as freshmen, coming into it, first year, I mean, big difference between high school or 8th grade.
Well, last
and-
year was your first year wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on.
So
You're
the other
not
thing
even a
is,
full year.
she's wrestling up a weight class right now.
Right.
Okay.
And she's gonna get down to another weight class, and we were able to wrestle there once already this year. And that's when you really saw Ariadne take off. We really had a great tournament at the weight she's gonna be at, but we just have to go down the healthy way, right? We're not gonna crash diet anymore. But so she's still wrestling up a weight class than what she's gonna be at. And I think you started the year, what, 1 and 6 maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So you're on a roll.
So now we got some things going, and you can really tell, again, 1 and 6 to now 10 and 8. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what, it's not necessarily how you start, it's how you finish. You want to
Exactly.
be peaking at the right time, do that controlled weight descent, so you're not, really struggling with
And
your
you're
energies
improving,
and stuff.
obviously, if you're
Improving.
winning now. Yeah.
That's good, and so you see your wrestling room and your practices, you have good numbers of girls, you have good intensities, good group coming out and putting the work in.
Absolutely, yep. I've been fortunate, right, with 2 years of the girls program. It's fun. Every year, you get kids like Ariadne who've wrestled maybe a little bit longer than the girls have in the past. Like I know Caitlyn, her first year was her freshman year. Madelynn claims her first year was her 7th grade year. There's more her 8th grade year as well. But we have a lot more girls that have 1 year experience coming into the program. So it's kind of, I don't know if more fun's the right word, but it's definitely fun being able to kind of hit the ground just one step further than maybe where we started the past couple of years.
Oh, for sure, having somebody as a first or 8th grader versus I think you have like say a junior and some older girls that this is their first time, and to go out, I'm first year and I'm a sophomore or a junior, right? I mean, I think you're already kind of behind already, right?
Yeah, and obviously we welcome anybody,
Oh, yeah.
right? Absolutely, we do. And, but yeah, the earlier you start any sport, right? The more success you're gonna have, most likely. And there's obviously those kids that can start as a senior and go be a great wrestler that 1 year, but that's kind of the outlier.
Yeah.
Well, and I know we talked about kind of some individual records and, some tournaments that you've gone through. I see I think you've had two fourth place finishes at your first tournaments and then a first place here on Monday. Am I
Yeah.
correct there?
So we went fourth, I think, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then we had a stretch this past week where we went Thursday, Friday, Monday.
Okay.
All right, so we had Sunday off, obviously, but that Friday tournament, we got runner-up
Okay.
Nice.
to a team that we beat the next day.
Okay.
All right.
We got runner-up by, I think, 3 points.
Okay.
And then the last tournament, we won. So,
And
yeah.
that was it.
Wrestling well as a team.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I guess I asked that because, hey, elephant in the room, two-time defending, technically three-time defending state champ as a team medalist. I mean, obviously you have some goals and some big, I guess, goals and things you want to do. I mean, do you think the team peaks right, has the time, ability to do it again?
Yeah, I think that this group of kids, we're a young group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to see where we were at with the freshmen, right? Where we're going to go out there and we're going to face them. We don't wrestle slouch tournaments. We go to tough tournaments. We're trying to find the best wrestling teams and going to put up against them. We don't run away from anybody, right? That's kind of what we like to think. And like you said earlier, it's not about where we start. It's about where we finish. And we don't even have our lineup set for what we're going to have at the end of the year. And I know that.
For sure.
There's kids that are still making their descent. There's kids that are going up. We're still filling in a couple weights. So I'm not worried about the results right now. For me, it's about, are we giving our best effort and are we having fun while we're doing it? And I can tell you the effort's there. I don't know if they might disagree about the fun part.
I was just I've had some practices that are really fun. Not all practices are supposed to be fun though, but there's some fun, especially the tournaments, right? You don't necessarily wrestle, I mean, you do for the practices, but the tournaments and the road trips and the camaraderie and your teammates,
We talked about that after the meets. What do I say? It's not about winning or losing. It's about making
Memories.
memories, right?
Exactly, in a nutshell.
You're going to forget your wins. You're going to forget your losses, but you're not going to forget that story of the one coach who did something really funny that tournament, or the one girl who did something right.
Had that big throw or
Yeah.
that whatever, you're gonna remember.
It's the memories.
The
so
memories,
That's what we
right.
want to focus on.
Oh, good. I hope you ladies make a lot of really positive memories. I think you're on the right track here for this year. We wish
Absolutely.
you best of luck and, everybody,
So you got a meet
tomorrow,
tomorrow, and then you got another one over break, right?
Yeah, January 4th, I believe.
both home, and that's the fourth is the dual meet with the boys
the
Yeah,
guys.
team.
boys and girls together.
Double mats going
Yep.
on, I believe.
I think we're going to go one match.
Oh, you are,
Right? That
okay.
way we could kind of give both people their time.
Yeah.
Cool.
That way we're not trying, you don't have to watch both matches at the
Overlap.
same time, right? You can focus on the one match. And takes a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it so that way,
Especially with only two home meets. I like
see
how you're
each
gonna
other
do
yeah,
it.
and it's senior night as well.
Okay.
So it's always nice to recognize, we don't have a lot of seniors, but it's always nice to recognize our seniors. And I don't know about the boys team, I don't know how many seniors they have either. But
Maybe next week we'll make sure to ask that
We'll ask
too.
them.
We'll ask them. But then tomorrow night, it's home, what time?
5:30.
5:30. You got JV varsity.
Yep,
Okay. And then probably see 20, 25 matches maybe tomorrow?
Yeah,
20? 15?
well, I'd say 20-ish.
20?
Right, and
Okay.
it's funny, because Skylar sent me their lineup, and they have all these, they have a lot of little girls.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where we're low on numbers. And then we have more like 55, well, we have a lot of 130 pounders too, but they're all little weights where they have their most numbers, and then we're kind of more middle and upper weights. So
Mhm.
we don't, those JV matches are just not going to line up as well as we were hoping. But I think I counted that there'll be about 6 to 7 extra matches,
Extra
Nice.
matches. Well, fun.
which is great for those kids to go
Yeah.
wrestle here in front of their home crowd.
Get some-
And
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, hopefully we'll fill up the dome, get, parents, students, everything. I know, I'm super excited it just seems that, wrestling the last few years or even more you're doing more term, which is good, but, to get some things at home, we gotta take advantage of the ones we get here and we wanna come out and cheer you on, so, but no,
Best of luck.
yeah,
We're
best
all
of
behind
luck.
you for sure.
Yeah, and we really appreciate all three of you and you coach, and, yeah, good luck, and.
I got one more plug for myself, if that's okay.
Yeah, go.
So we also have a youth program.
Okay, cool.
Started up last year, and the kids are going to be getting that tomorrow.
In their Thursday folders,
Yeah,
I'm assuming,
so
okay?
I'm
Okay.
hoping that, parents that see this, youth kids, it's free, and kind of we talked about earlier, right?
Get them started early.
The earlier you start, the better it is,
Yeah.
and,
Young boys and young women?
yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's, we're going to do a free camp on the 31st of December,
Okay.
which I know is not 100% ideal, but that was the best time for the coaching staff. So that's gonna be a girls-only camp, and
Okay.
then after the girls-only, there'll be a boys-only camp. Just to come out, try it out, it's free, and we'll go over the basics, and then we'll have practices 2 times a week, and just, again,
Get
any
some
parents,
kids you might not
kids,
get otherwise.
yeah, just,
Absolutely.
as long as your kid can handle it and, you know, be appropriate during the practices, any age is welcome.
So that's like a K through?
8.
A K through 8?
Yeah, we say 8, and we know we have the middle school program, and man, let me give a shout out to those guys too, right? Coach DeLeo, he's done a great job at the middle school.
Nice.
He's been there for quite a while, and he just keeps getting kids to come out, and he just does a great job with that program, and then keeping them
Yeah.
out.
You know, keeping them out and getting them, make sure job a little bit, hey, they know a little bit of the technique, they know that they know the building blocks off that. And,
Absolutely.
No, good plug there, I think that's a very good plug.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys coming in tonight after a practice. It's awesome.
Practice and moving
Yeah.
mats, you
Moving
know,
mats,
that's
getting ready.
the dual job there, and so, but that's part of the wrestlers earning their grit there.
And did you guys know Mr. Garvey was a state medalist many
Long time
years
ago.
ago?
Many
Lots
years
ago.
ago.
I saw your name.
Lot of gray hairs ago.
I
So-
saw it and I brought it up to him and I was like, is that Mr. Garvey? Like, is that the
That's
same
him.
Garvey?
So now I'll put a plug in, maybe we get one of my daughters to come out, and I'd love for you to be a coach of one of them, but we'll see. We got a few more coming up with them Garvey guys.
I got one in golf,
Yeah,
so, yeah, I think she sees enough of me in golf, the oldest one.
the oldest one, yeah, so maybe one of these younger ones will get there. A couple of them are still chasing the pumpkin though, so we'll work on that.
As long as they're involved, that's the biggest thing.
That's right.
So I'd tell anybody, just be involved, right?
Yep.
You gotta be involved.
I hear you.
Absolutely.
Well, again, thank you.
Thanks, girls.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Good
Yes.
luck.
Thanks, Coach.